The war in Ukraine continues to reshape global security dynamics. Recently, reports revealed that President Volodymyr Zelensky privately asked former U.S. President Donald Trump to provide Tomahawk cruise missiles during a meeting at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Zelensky believes these weapons could pressure Vladimir Putin into negotiations by striking deep into Russian territory. But what would Tomahawk missiles mean for the battlefield and for the geopolitical balance? In this video, we'll break down Zelensky's request, the history and capabilities of the Tomahawk, and the potential consequences if Ukraine were to acquire them. On Friday, September 26th, Zelensky asked Trump to approve the transfer of long-range Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine. His argument was simple: the ability to hit Russian military infrastructure deep behind the front lines would force Moscow to reconsider its strategy. According to Zelensky, Tomahawks would not only expand Ukraine's reach, but also act as a direct lever to bring Putin to the negotiating table. The Tomahawk cruise missile was developed by the U.S. Navy in the early 1970s, at the height of the Cold War. Its purpose was to strike strategic Soviet targets at long distances without exposing American aircraft, ships, or personnel to enemy defenses. The missile was first tested in 1976 and officially entered service in 1983, deployed on U.S. Navy surface ships and submarines. Its design emphasized versatility. Tomahawks can be launched from destroyers, cruisers, submarines, and in some variants, even land-based or air platforms. Each missile comes with a steep price tag, between $1 and $2 million, depending on the version, but what it delivers is unmatched precision and reach. The Tomahawk is a subsonic missile, traveling at about Mach 0.74, or roughly 880 kilometers per hour. It measures 5.6 meters in length and weighs between 1,300 and 1,600 kilograms at launch. Its propulsion begins with a solid-fuel rocket booster, which gets the missile airborne, followed by a Williams F-107 turbofan engine for efficient long-distance cruising. The missile's range is one of its most defining features. Early versions could fly 1,300 kilometers, while modern blocks extend that to 1,600 to 2,500 kilometers. Guidance is another strength. Tomahawks combine inertial navigation, GPS, and terrain contour matching, giving them accuracy within 5 meters even after traveling over 1,600 kilometers. They can fly at ultra-low altitudes, down to 30 meters, making them extremely hard to detect by radar. Modern Block 4 versions added two-way satellite communications, allowing operators to redirect the missile mid-flight. If transferred to Ukraine, Tomahawks would act as a massive force multiplier. Deep strikes. With ranges up to 2,500 kilometers, Ukraine could hit Russian logistics hubs as far as Siberia and the Arctic, areas deliberately chosen by Moscow to be out of drone range. Naval threats. Russian ships in the Black Sea would become far more vulnerable to precision strikes. Economic targets. Nearly 80% of Russia's key oil refineries and export terminals could be reached, intensifying Ukraine's economic warfare strategy. Air defense redistribution. Russia would likely be forced to pull air defense systems away from occupied Ukrainian territory to protect deeper targets, weakening its frontline defense and opening opportunities for Ukrainian air and drone attacks. Zelensky's core belief is that this shift would stretch Russia thin and force Putin into negotiations by making strategic retaliation routine and costly. While Zelensky has suggested that Trump was open to the idea, describing the U.S. as a neutral arms supplier, the move comes with enormous risks. For Moscow, Tomahawks would represent not just another weapon, but a strategic threat capable of striking deep into Russia's heartland. The Kremlin could view such a transfer as an existential escalation, potentially widening the conflict far beyond Ukraine's borders. The Tomahawk missile is one of the most enduring and effective long-range weapons in modern history. If Ukraine were to acquire them, the battlefield would change overnight, bringing both new opportunities and new dangers. For Zelensky, the gamble is clear. Tomahawks could be the key to forcing Putin into negotiations. But for Washington and Moscow, the question remains, would such a step end the war sooner or ignite an even broader conflict? What do you think? Should the U.S. provide Tomahawks to Ukraine, or would it be too dangerous an escalation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. This is Military Power TV.